go.
All right. Happy Monday, Team Arrow. So excited to have you on this call. Today, we're going to talk about how to properly mentor a new business builder. I think this is important because I think sometimes we get so caught up in enrolling. And then maybe somebody is open to the business. And I think a lot of times there's a little bit of just kind of like, now what? Or we just think that they'll just kind of do it. Or maybe we say too much and they don't know where to start. So it's definitely something that I've been thinking a lot about and just kind of reflecting on what are the steps that I am taking that gets people going and making sure that I'm passing that information on to you guys so that you guys are doing the same. So I kind of just wrote down some notes of how I do that. And again, I mean, you might have a different way, and if it's working, do it. But if it's not working, maybe just reflect and think about modifying some things. So I always say, treat everyone as a business builder until proven otherwise. And I think a lot of times people do the opposite. They treat everybody as a product user until proven otherwise. And I think that what happens a lot of times is that we don't even offer the opportunity. We just think that someone's going to fall in love with Isagenix and tell us that they want to build a business. And I would say 99% of the time that's just not going to happen because they didn't come to you to build a business. They came to you to lose weight or reach some other nutrition goals. So just really making sure that you are providing the business opportunity, that you are talking about it, but you also do want to do it in a way where it looks simple and in a way where you're not bossing people around because no one wants a boss. So there definitely is this like fine line of like, here's this amazing opportunity for you and it's here for whenever you're ready, but then also loving people where they're at, you know, and you really have to pick up on people's cues around that. The moment somebody stops communicating with me about the business, or if I start to notice that they just really aren't engaging in that, then I just focus on the nutrition because I also don't want to like scare them off and think like, oh my gosh, I can't do this unless I'm a business builder and now I'm turned off, you know? So again, it's just this fine line between the two. So I always treat everyone as a business builder until proven otherwise. The opportunity is always presented in that initial call. I get that question a lot. People will tell me, when do you cast the vision? When do you talk about the opportunity? And I definitely do it in that initial call. And I think, again, the hard part for a lot of people is when do you do it in that initial call if somebody is reaching out to you about nutrition, right? And the way that I do that is, okay, we focus on their goals. We focus on why they reached out to me. We focus on what they're already doing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, identify their daily budget, pick the pack based on that budget, take down the order, and then at the very end of the order, I always say, I know we've been on the phone for a while, and I know, and I'm so excited for you to get started on Isagenix. You're going to love it. But I want to make sure that you know we have an incredible opportunity with Isagenix, and I want to make sure that you at least know how to get your products paid for. And so I basically say this. I say in a couple of weeks, people are going to start to notice that you're looking different. They're going to maybe notice that you're losing some weight. They're going to notice that your energy's different, and they're going to want to know what you're doing. It happens to all of us. At that point, you have three choices. Your first choice is go ahead and refer them to me, and I will take care of them, just like I'm taking care of you. I am always happy to have referrals. Option number two is I can teach you how to enroll people on Isagenix, and I can teach you how to help them have success with Isagenix. And Isagenix pays you referral bonuses for every person that you refer to Isagenix. And these bonuses vary from $25 a person all the way up to $200 a person, which is really, really awesome. And then option number 3 is, I'm just curious, what is a bill that is keeping you up at night? And I kind of just let them tell me. I mean, sometimes that can catch some people off guard, but you'd be surprised, especially with a stranger, people like tell you stuff. And once they tell me that bill, then I say, I can show you how to make a significant income with Isogenics where you can have that paid for. So one of the things that comes up a lot when I'm talking to people is student loans, lately retirement, um, their kids' college, because if they're not even paying off their student loans, they're probably not planning for their kids' college. Um, what are some other ones? Kids' private school, education. So just whatever comes up. And then I just kind of go off of what that answer was. And that, you guys, like it literally takes 5 minutes to go over these 3 options with people. And that conversation already gives you so much information about the kind of person that you have in front of you. If right away they're saying, oh, no, 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 I will never do this business. I'm not even going to tell anybody. This is a secret. You're not allowed to tell anyone. That's giving me a lot of information, right? And I've had that. I've also had that happen. And then they tell the world. So also, it doesn't always, they don't always mean what they say, but listen to that. Or I've had people that I never thought would do the business in that conversation go, oh, wow, $200 a person? Oh, that's easy. I know like 10 people that would do this with me. If it works, if you help me get skinny, I'm going to go tell all my friends and I'll have like 20 people do this with me. So listen to that, right? Because then that's already telling you, awesome, they're open to referral bonuses. Or if they're like, hey, I have $100,000 in student loans and I have no idea how I'm going to pay for that. Like, are you serious? Like, is this really something that could help me with that? Again, listen to that, right? Because already, depending on how they respond to that question, it's giving you a lot about their potential why and some of the things that you can tap into in painting the vision for people. Now, based on how they respond, it gives you a glimpse into what kind of customer they're going to be. Remember that 80% of our customers in Isogenics are happy product users. So that's okay. If it sounds like they're just going to be a product user, help them fall in love with it. 80% of our business is happy product users. We love them. We want them. Make sure that you love them and take care of them. Think about that. 80% of your business is product users. Don't just focus on potential business builders. Make sure that your product users are happy and they fall in love with Isogenics. And then 10 to 15% of our Isogenics customers are what's called an Isogenics fan or a super enroller. And so that's 10 to 15%. A lot of times people think these are business builders. They're actually not. They're just Isogenics fans, super referrals, and they are awesome. So this is the person who just loves Isogenics, can't stop talking about it, and they just tell the world. And maybe they enroll 100 people. They're just telling everybody about it. And maybe they're still doing their other business, they're still doing their other career, but they love Isogenics so much that they tell everybody about it no matter what. So those are the Isogenics fans. These are the super enrollers. So remember, that's about 10 to 15% of our customers in Isogenics. And then true business builders are typically only 2 to 5%. And so think about that. That's a small number when you're thinking about Isogenics as a whole. True business builders are only 2 to 5%. So think about if you enroll 100 people, 2 to 5% of those, so 2 to 5 would be true business builders. But we know with our awesome compensation, 2 to 5 true business builders in your organization is huge, right? So think about that. 80 happy product users, 10 to 15 super fans that tell everybody about Isogenics, and 2 to 5 true business builders. That's what it takes, So I want you to really know the numbers, because I think sometimes, again, like if you're enrolling a lot of people and you're feeling like you just have a bunch of happy product users, that's okay. That is normal. But also make sure that you are talking to everybody about the business opportunity, because what if you don't talk about it with that one person that could be one of your 2 to 5%, right? That'd be kind of like a big mistake. So you don't want to do that. Then on the open box call, remind them again about the opportunity. So I always talk to people about the opportunity in that initial call. And then when we do the open box call, I go through all their product, how they're going to do their shake day, how they're going to do their cleanse day. I support them. And then I say, remember, in a couple of weeks, people are going to notice that you look different. They're going to notice that you have more energy. They're just going to notice this different glow about you. And people are going to want to know what you're doing. If you just say Isagenix, chances are that they're just going to Google it and buy it off of isagenix.com or Amazon or something else. Instead, how about you get a referral bonus for that? I want you to get some money. I want you to at least get your products paid for. I remember that you told me your student loans are really stressing you out. We can help focus on paying some of those just by you sharing your results with Isagenix. So again, bringing it back to the opportunity. And then I bring back the opportunity every time I check in with them. Now, again, if when you're doing that, they don't engage and they don't want to talk about it, then back off and focus on the nutrition. But if they are engaging, run with it, support them. As soon as somebody is open to the business, as soon as somebody really gives me a clue that they're at least open to it, at that point, I send them the Welcome to the Biz of Isagenix email. And I also send them the other message that I shared with you guys, I believe last week, and it's like a text message. So I do both. I send the email, Welcome to the Biz of Isagenix, and I send the other one via text. That way I'm getting them both ways, right? Because we all know not everybody checks their email, but most people do check their text messages. And just to back up a little bit, every time you have a new product user, I hope all of you are always sending a welcome email with their username and their password and all of that. Super important. Again, this is all a part of the system of how to set somebody up for success. So if I send them that information, and again, they're engaging with me and they're telling me like, I'm really interested in this, like, what do? I always start people with this simple goal. I say, make sure that you're ordering 100 business volume and make sure you're an associate. Number 2, do your first Facebook post. Either you're talking about, I'm starting this new superfood and I'm looking for some accountability partners, whatever that is, or you're saying, I've been using this new program for the last 30 days and here's my before and after, like whatever that is, but you are helping them, you guys. Like, I can't tell you how many times I have literally written out somebody's new post, somebody's first post, because they just don't know like what to say. I mean, think back to when you started. I just did that with one of our new girls. I literally said, this is what you're going to write. Here you go, copy and paste. And I did it based on what I knew about her. So I knew that it was authentic to her. I know what she's going through. I know what she's experiencing. I know what her goals are. So instead of complicating it for her, I wrote the post for her, and that's what she wrote. And people reached out and she enrolled her first 2 people. So then the third step is enroll your first 2 people. So those are like the 3 things of like launching a new person, those 3 simple steps. And then I give it a deadline. I say, okay, you're going to do this by Sunday. And then I hold them accountable. Now, again, the person has to agree to this. Like, if they're like, oh, heck no, I'm not putting anything on social media, or, oh my gosh, there's no way I can find 2 people. Like, if these things are happening, again, like, how is somebody going to be a business builder if they're telling you they can't find 2 people, right? Or if they're telling you that they don't want to put anything on social media. So all you can do is provide the tools, provide the support, and then go off of what they do. Many times I do this and it never gets done. That's a clue. That tells me, okay, this person's probably more of a happy product user. They really aren't interested in the business, or at least right now, they're not willing to do what it takes. They're not willing to take the action steps. But if somebody does do this, that's a clue too, right? Okay, they are ordering their 100 business volume. They became an associate. They did their first post. Now they enrolled their first 2 people. So then I'm going to talk to the person again this week, and it's going to be a new goal, right? So maybe it's another social media post because they've only done one so far. Maybe that's encouraging them to do their first launch party at their house where they invite all their friends and tell them what they're doing, and getting them going on enrolling more people, making sure that they are telling their new people about the business opportunity, that they're telling their new people about how referral bonuses work. But I basically mentor them and support them on a weekly basis. But again, like if they don't do what we talked about a week ago, then I'm not going to now go talk about running to Crystal Executive. How can I talk about that if they haven't even enrolled their first 2 people, right? So I think it's just so important to keep in mind, to keep it simple and baby steps with people, you know? Okay. As they meet their goals, I keep really close communication with them and continue to give them goals to work towards. So this might be an enrollment goal. So if somebody just became a consultant last week, then maybe this week I'm going to say, okay, go for 3 enrollments this week, or go for 4 enrollments next week, or talk to them about it. Or it might be go for Crystal Manager and teaching them how to do that. And so at that point, then you're focusing on enrollment goals, personal rank advancements. So you hit consultant. Now let's get you to Crystal Manager. Explain that. Their own team rank advancements. Encouraging them to do their first launch party or to attend an event. Posting on social media. And then encouraging them, depending on how committed they are to this, encouraging them to start thinking about the next Isagenix event that they're going to. And just remember how important events are. And I mean, I can't stress this enough. Your business will not grow if you're not bringing people to events. You can show up to events over and over again by yourself, and that's awesome. But if you're not bringing people with you, you're not creating depth in your team, in your business, and you're not creating that residual income. So I really, really want you guys to think about that. I really want to encourage you to make it a non-negotiable that every time you show up to an event, there is somebody new in your team with you. That is so, so important, because you know what events do to you. You know what it does. You go to an event, it lights this fire under you, and that is awesome. But don't you want your team to have that same experience and your people to be lit up? Because otherwise you come back and you're like, let's do this. Let's go. Like, let's hit Crystal Executive and 2-star and 3-star. And all your people that stayed back at home are like, man, what happened to her? Like, what's going on? They think you're crazy. You know, this is the reality. You want to come back with them and be fired up with them and running for goals. So just super, super important. So that was kind of like what I had in mind. Those are my notes. I'm happy to send this on Team Arrow Biz so that you can like have it for your own information. And then of course we have the recording. Does anybody have any questions or any concerns or anything that has come up when you're mentoring a new person that I can help with? Because I'm sure if you have a question about it, someone else does too. Would it be more helpful if we stopped the recording before we ask questions? I know sometimes that's the hesitation. You don't want to like put it out there. Okay. Well, I'm going to have.
How about I share something I struggle with? It's not a question. It's something that I personally know I struggle with and I try to do better at. I'm the kind of person who like, I forget things. And so like when things are on my mind, I want to tell you like right away, like same thing. Like if I'm going to tell my husband something, I got to like text him because I'm going to forget. But I do that to like my product users and my business builders. Like I give them too much. I need to like break it down into pieces, smaller pieces. And I sort of like, want to dump it to get it off my plate or out of my head, or because I don't want to forget it later. So I haven't come up with a great system for like reminding myself like, okay, let's just give them this one piece and I'll give them this other piece later. But I know that it's like overload. Like I can see it when it happens, but it's already too late.
Yes. You know, that is something that I think a lot about. And because I know that this is what happens, or it's like two extremes. I think some people don't give people any information to be a business builder. And then I think some people give too much information to be a business builder. And then I think we have to find like a happy balance, or you're right, just a little bit. And that's why I wanted to do this call, because I really wanted to stress the importance of kind of these weekly steps and this like weekly information, and breaking it down to just three things every week, you know? So once somebody tells you that they're open to the business and that they're open to posting and they're open to enrolling, I think these three things are so easy. You know, it's like, okay, make sure you're ordering 100 business volume and that you're an associate. That's like non-negotiable. Number two, do your first post or your first launch party. You know, I think they kind of go hand in hand depending on the person. Some people might be like, heck no, I'm not putting anything on social media, but they're totally fine with doing a launch party at their house, right? Or vice versa. And they're both equally important, and they both will give you at least 2 enrollments to become a consultant, you know? And then the step 3 would be, let's enroll your first 2 people this week and give them the tools on how to do that, you know? So this particular girl that just hit consultant last week, I don't think she's on the call. It's Nicole. No. But in fact, I'll go back to my text messages because it's kind of the same thing too. Sometimes I'm doing things with people or with people that I'm mentoring, and then I realize, no, not everybody else is, you know, it's like just one of those like automatic things. I'm like, do people do this? Do people send this information? And I think sometimes it might have happened to you, but then it's been so long by the time you're mentoring someone that there's definitely like a gap in that, you know? But not only like go find your 2 people and enroll them, but you have to kind of teach them how to do that, right? Like this particular girl, Nicole, she's on a mommy pack. Like she doesn't know about cleansing and these other things, you know, yet she enrolled a value pack for her first pack. I think that's like so incredible. Somebody who's on a mommy pack enrolling their first person on a value pack, that's amazing, you know? But you have to teach them how to do that and how to enroll people. And also the different ways to do it, right? Because for example, I'm using Nicole as an example because she's fresh in my mind because this just happened. So we talked about her goals. We knew what she was going for. 2 people. I checked in with her, like, how's it going? You know, did you follow up with this person, with that person? Again, like when you're mentoring a new person, their goals are as important to you as your own goals, you know? And so in checking in with her, okay, she did her first value pack. Awesome. Like I checked to make sure she did it right on the tree. And then I was like, okay, now in your bottom right, let's get that second value pack, da, 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 da. So then she was following up with somebody else yesterday on a value pack. And she like had everything going for this value pack. And then she tells me that this particular person freaked out about the shipping cost, which we know is what, like $50, I think, for a value pack. And because she freaked out about the shipping cost, then it was a done deal. She lost the deal because of the shipping cost.
Isn't it free now?
Oh God, don't tell me that.
All new orders over $300 is free shipping.
And that would have been over $300, huh? Does that not show up when you're
I don't know. I haven't enrolled somebody since they just did that. It was like last week.
I wonder if that's something that comes up later. So
Anyone?
has anyone done it? Where does it show that it's
It
yeah,
doesn't,
it is free
I
shipping?
haven't,
Yeah.
Yes, it does
was-
show.
it does show.
It does.
Well, when she was putting the order, it didn't show. And so
Does it just show up at the end though? It might be one of those things I've
That's
seen
what
where it's like you go through the process and then it shows it at the end.
yeah. So in this particular case, I did what I would have normally done before this. And I said, you are at a point where you're going to make $450. If all of a sudden somebody is hesitating about something like shipping cost, I would offer to pay for it or at least split it, right? Because it's Sunday at 4:00. So now you're either only going to make $100 because you did one value pack, or you're going to make $450 for two value packs, right? Because at this point, you're probably not going to find a second person, right? And so and I said, this is what I personally would do, just something for you to think about. And, she processed it. Now, this is all text message. We weren't able to actually get on the phone at this point. It was too late for this person. So she lost that person. But again, it's all a learning experience, right? Because then now she knows next time she knows what to think about, what to offer. Now we also have free shipping, so I will make sure and talk about that. But also she had enrolled her mom in the past. So then I talked about, well, what about your mom? What about getting her to 100 business volume so that you can at least get that, so you can at least hit consultant? Because I would love for you to hit consultant. We can announce you as a consultant. So then that ended up being the focus, right? So I want you to think about just some different strategic ways to help people, because I think sometimes we just kind of let people be, and then it's like, oh, well, they didn't get their second person, like we have to kind of help them and think about it and strategize and like, hey, what about offering free membership or free shipping or covering this or covering that, or placing an order under somebody. So just some things to think about, we really, especially in the beginning, we really have to hold their hand and help them through it. And we all know how important those first rank advancements are in the recognition and all of that, So just keeping that in mind, like people aren't just going to do it, especially in the beginning, because maybe they don't totally understand it yet. You know what I mean? So really giving them that information as we go, so like, okay, your first two people. Okay, now focusing on 2 enrollments. I don't know. Does that make sense? Does that help? Because I think a lot of times, I think that happens. It's like, okay, go for your 2 people, and then they get 1, and we're busy because it's Sunday, and we're doing family things and whatnot, and then 8:00 rolls around, and it's just like, well, I guess they didn't get their second person. And then we never talk about it with them, like we never like follow up to know like what happened, or like, how can I help? Or let's think of a different way, this is best to do it on like Saturday or Sunday morning so that you have some like thinking time, because there's nothing worse than like Sunday at 8 p.m. trying to like strategize and think on how to do it, but just the most important part is just really being a good mentor for people and helping them get through those initial goals, because we all know if somebody didn't do that with us, we wouldn't be here, most of us, I mean, for the most part, I can speak for every single one of you who is at least my personal enrollment. I think you can recognize that in the beginning, we spoke a lot. It was like constant communication of, okay, like, who do you know? Okay, what about the launch party? Okay, your post. Okay, is this person, why is this person not ordering 100 business volume? Did they not like the product? Or like, how can we get them to consultant? I mean, all those things, and just staying true to that, because again, that's just so important in building this business and building business builders, right? Because we're teaching people how to do this so that then they keep doing it with or without us, right? So I hope that helps. Does anybody have any other questions? Anything else? Does anybody feel like they really want to talk about something, but they want to stop the recording? No, 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 everything's good. Okay, if I miss somebody, maybe do it in the chat box because I think we're going to get cut off anyway. No, everyone's good. Wait, Adrian, yes. Adrian, do you want me to stop the recording?